Years ago, I heard that Peter Lig sold for $6.5 million a photo from the Antelope Canyon called The Ghost. And I was so intrigued. I know there was a lot of controversy. I was like, I'm gonna go get a similar photo. And I remember looking at his photo of the Antelope Canyon and I saw this photo of the Lady in the Wind, which is in the lower Antelope, and I was obsessed to get this photo. So come with me. A while back ago, I went to the Antelope Canyon and I managed to have it just for myself. And I'm gonna show you some of the most stunning photo I ever did. Now, they're very hard to retouch. What was really hard is to get the correct colors and the dynamic range is so insane. Between the darkness of the canyon and the bright sun, such an incredible beauty. This is the HDR on the right side, and this is the normal exposure. And you see, I lost all the detail there. I got a lot of a black line here. You know, the HDR actually looks way better, you know. So you're in for a treat.
Come on, Frenchie, it's not that hard. What the hell are you talking about?
Like, for example, I'm going to show you how to go from like this HDR, which is underexposed, normal exposed, and overexposed, to this result, which is really, really hard to pull off, or how to get something like this. I'm going to reveal so many secrets in this video, it's insane. So we're back from the canyon, and let me show you some of the best photos I got. And if you stay, I'll show you how to retouch it. And it's hard, very challenging. Look at the rocks, look at the light of this canyon. It's absolutely insane. And the dynamic range was so insane. That was the hardest part, was to really be able to capture the inside and the outside, you know. But just look at the texture and the light. I've never seen anything like it ever in my life as a photographer. Such an incredible beauty. Let me show you some more photos. This place is absolutely unbelievable. If you get a chance, the problem is that now you cannot go to, they don't authorize any more photo tours there, but you can do Canyon X, and you can also do another canyon in Monument Valley. In fact, I'm going for a workshop there in May, which is completely sold out. And I'm so excited to go there with students, where we privatize the entire canyon. I don't think in one day I got more beautiful photo than a one day. This has been absolutely insane. So without any further ado, let me show you. We're going to start by the easiest one, which is this one. This one is very easy because the dynamic range is not so hard, and I'm going to finish with one of the most difficult photo I ever retouched. So I'm going to create a virtual copy. I'm going to reset this photo. This is how it looked when I shot it. This is called the bull. Look at this. You can see here, like, that's the nose, that's the eyes. I love this shot. So this one is going to be kind of easy because I'm just going to cut out the dynamic range here because I really want to be on the bull. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open a shadow and I'm going to bring down the highlights, okay, all the way. And you see here, it's completely burned. There's no more information. You can see the photo is very sharp, but here it's totally burned. So we're going to have to deal with that. But what I ended up doing is actually cropping that a little bit. Well, actually not. I left some of it here. Didn't really disturb me. But if I wanted to get this, I would have to do the workflow that I'm about to show you. But on this one, what I did is open the shadow, bring down the highlights. I hold on the Option key. Now, if you're on a Mac, this is the Option key. And if you're on Windows, it's the Alt key. And then you hold on this and you set what we call a black point. So what you see in yellow is 100% black. I like that, 100% black. I want to get some real darkness there. So something like this is good. And then I'm going to really open the brightness of this photo with the white slider. Now, this is completely burned here, which is really annoying. But I'm going to try to show you how to do it with one photo, and then we'll do it the right way with 3 photos. So on this one, now, how do you pick the white balance? What I usually do on the white balance is I go to daylight first. And I kind of like what daylight does to the photo. I just think, you know, if I look at Peter Lig's photo, let me show you. That was my inspiration. Look how pink and red the photo is. And it's one of his best-selling photo. So I'm like, okay, I want to add a lot of magenta to it, like he did, you know. And like, yeah, make it really red. It's the red rocks, you know, it's the Antelope Canyon.
Hey, Frenchie, you're from Paris. You're not from the Antelope Canyon. You're not an American.
Now, on this one, I never do this, but this is a little secret. I'm going to add actually texture and clarity to really make it sharp. Look how sharp this thing is. We can see every detail, which I really like, okay? And I think I'm going to make it darker. So when you make a photo darker, it gives even more color to the photo, okay? So now we got a basic thing going on. Now let's see if we can crop out that high dynamic range things by going 16:9 and just cropping it right at the bull like this. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Now we do have a bit of light here. So you know what? I'm just going to increase the highlights, but I want to make like a light ray coming from the canyon. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to add a gradient of light coming, and I'm going to rotate that gradient, okay? You see, I'm going to rotate that gradient and I'm going to make it smaller. I want to increase the light coming from the canyon. So I'm just going to add a bit of exposure here. And I'm going to add also a bit of minus clarity, because minus clarity is going to add a bit of a diffuse light. So I'm going to add a bit of a diffuse light. So minus clarity, yes, coming from that. That's kind of cool. That might be a bit strong. And I want to see if I can make the light go behind the nose. So this is going to be a bit tough, but this is how you go. But I'm sure you can do it. It is amazing.
Come on, stop showing off. It's not that hard.
I'm going to go here on the mask and I'm going to say subtract, and I'm going to go to select object. And now you have a brush. And remember, a brush in Lightroom, if you use that middle key, you can make it bigger or smaller, which is, I really like that. So I'm going to big brush, and I'm just going to brush our bull here. I'm going to brush our bull because I want to subtract that. I want the light ray to go behind, and boom, look at that. Now the light ray is behind the bull, before, after. Look how it changes the photo. It's insane. Now that's not all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little brush here, a little brush. And so just a little trick for you. When you use a brush, be very careful. Make sure auto mask is off. Make sure that the flow is not at 0% and the flow and density is not all the way. Because let me show you. If you add a bit of exposure like this, let me see, I want to brush. I'm like, I did nothing to the photo. It's very natural. It looks really bad. If you put the feather all the way to 100 and you brush, it's better, but not yet amazing. But if you lower the flow and the density like this, and then you brush, you hardly see it. And then if you lower the exposure and then you brush, you almost don't see it. And that's what you want.
Well, I must say I'm pretty surprised, my friend. It's actually pretty cool.
Okay, so let me do it. I'm going to take the brush and I'm going to make sure the feather is all the way, flow and density in the 70s. And I'm going to first actually lower the exposure, and I want to do a bit of a vignette, but I want to do it by hand. I want to follow that line here and make this darker. And I want to follow that line here and make this darker, maybe a bit the bottom. Not the top. I want the light to come from the top. And then I'm going to do with the same setting, I'm going to take another brush and I'm going to make sure the feather is all the way to 100, flow and density in 70. And now I'm just going to do some modeling. So what is modeling?
What the heck is modeling? You think you're a model or something?
Modeling is when you want to make more 3D shape of something. You want to make the volume come out. And you do that with dodge and burn. Dodge and burn just means making things brighter or darker.
So you think dodge and burn is just masking?
So I'm going to take this and I'm going to add a bit of exposure. And you see where it's bright here? I'm just going to model. By adding a bit of light here and maybe here and here and here, and maybe here and here, I'm just giving it a better 3D shots.
Okay, stop showing off, Frenchie. Start retouching a little bit here.
And now I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to take again a dark brush. I like to do like 2 or 3 times. And I'm going to make maybe this a bit darker inside. You know, and it's good to do, like, take your time, make maybe this. And don't do it everywhere, just in some part. Check it out. Before the dark brush, before the bright brush, it's kind of subtle, but look at this. Before all the brushes, totally changes the photo. Okay, now we're going to do the really tough one. It is going to be very difficult.
Come on, stop showing off. It's not that hard.
No, I'm kidding. This one is going to be harder. Okay, so on this one, I really, really wanted to have the sky. And so, as I told you, look at my settings. I shot this on a tripod, 7.1, ISO 64. In fact, I should have been at ISO 100. That was a mistake. 7.1, 1/25th of a second for the underexposed photo, 1/6 of a second for the normal exposure, and then 0.6, that's why you have to be on a tripod, for the overexposed photo. I'm going to select all 3. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to edit and go to photo merge. I'm going to go to photo merge and go to HDR. In HDR, make sure you have the auto align feature. The ghosting amount feature, you don't need it. What the ghosting is when you have any movement in a photo and you do 3 photos, like normal, under, overexposed, it goes bam, bam, bam. It goes a little fast. Sometimes you get a bit of a ghosting effect. And by putting that option all the way to high, it's going to detect if there was any motion between all 3 photos. In this case, there is absolutely no motion, so I don't need it. So I'm going to merge and I'm going to create a beautiful HDR. Now, in this case, I'm going to show it to you. Just if you stay just stay a few more minutes. I'm going to show you the difference between the HDR and the normal exposure and why it was vital to do an HDR. Stay tuned for that. So here is the HDR. It created a stack. So we have the HDR, and this is the 3 photos that it was based on. And we're going to start with the same workflow. We're going to open a shadow. And look how sharp this photo is. It's like one trick to get sharp photos. Make sure you're on tripod. Make sure you have a remote, which I had, or a 2-second self-timer so you're not touching your camera. Make sure you're focusing on the furthest point of the photo or on the main subject. And make sure you don't have stabilization on. Very important.
Wow, you're right. It's actually not that easy.
And now, so we open a shadow, we bring down, and look at this. When we bring down the highlights, we get something weird here with like a lot of chromatic aberration. So for now, I'm just going to maybe bring it like this, not too much. And then I'm going to do my black point, not too much, like this. Remember, you hold on the Option key, and what is it? What is it on Windows?
Yeah, guys, it's super easy. It's just the Alt key on Windows.
Okay, so now I'm going to reveal the photo with the white. Boom. Complete reveal. I'm going to add a bit of contrast, and I'm going to boost the exposure. Now, I like this, but like, let's look at Peter Lig's photo as a reference. Look how magenta, look how much he's getting the sky. He shot it from under. I shot it from I didn't want to do the same angle than him. Now, truth be told, I went to Miami last week and he has a very similar angle. But at the time, I swear that I didn't know. I was not aware that he shot it. I was so proud to find something he didn't do.
Yeah, sure, you're proud. You just copied Peter Ling. That's all you did.
No, I swear I did not copy him. I only saw the one where he shot from under when I went there. On the life of French fries. On this one, we really have an issue here, and I don't want to cut this out. I can't cut this out. I need that. So first thing is, let's do the same thing. Let's add a bit of red here. Maybe we add a bit of blue or yellow. Yeah, maybe a bit of blue. Let's make it even brighter. I like that. Like really, not too bright. Okay, now I got a good base, but I got 2 issues. I got this going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and select the sky and see and hope that we can get the sky back. So now we have a selection of the sky. I'm going to lower the exposure. With my eyes, I could see the sky, but the camera could not. So I'm just trying to reproduce what I live with my eyes. I mean, you've seen the behind the scene. This place is unreal. So I'm going to lower the exposure. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And I'm going to add, and that's a master trick, a lot of blue and a lot of saturation in that blue because the sky was very blue, as you can see here. Now that's pretty good. I kind of like that. Ooh, this is nice. But look at the chromatic aberration that I have here. Like, look at that blue fringe. If you do a big print of that, that's the only thing you're going to see. So let's go down here and let's pray. Let's go to remove chromatic aberration. Let's go and look at that. Boom. It got rid of most of it. And let's go to unabide profile correction. Okay, that got rid of most of the... We still get a slight halo. So when you get that, the solution is you go back here and you just make the sky a little bit brighter. No, you don't lower so much, a little bit brighter, and that should take care of that edge. Yeah, it's decent. It's decent now. And I kind of like that. And now I'm just ready to do a bit of dodge and burn. And by the way, guys, I have a coaching program.
Stop trying to sell me stuff, Frenchie.
That people are getting award-winning photo like JT got 38 international awards after finishing this and Sherry King 12 magazine cover. I'd love to see your work. Me and my team, we freed up a few spots for next week. You can book a call with us and we can talk. I'd love to see your work.
Well, truth be told, I actually would love you to see my work and see if you can improve my stuff.
Okay, so now I'm going to go here and I'm going to add a brush. And remember, feather all the way, flow and density in the 70s. And I'm just going to, I need to make this darker. I want to make this a bit darker, just that part here. I want to make this part a bit darker here. And this part a bit darker. And on this one, I'm going to add clarity, but I don't want to add clarity everywhere because if I add clarity everywhere, let's do it. You see, it's going to make a little halo here. You don't want that. In fact, I'm going to lower the clarity everywhere. Oh, look at that. I'm going to lower the clarity, which is going to diffuse that edge here. And now I'm going to take a brush, and on that brush, I'm going to add a bit of clarity and sharpening. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to add, it's under the curve, a bit of texture and clarity. And I'm just going to paint this in the middle here, because you hardly don't see anything, but just in the middle. Let's check it out. Before, look at that, before, after. I think I went a little too much on clarity, but something like this. And I'm like, let's compare it to the one from Peter Leak. Yeah, he went even more magenta and yellow. I kind of like my colors. I don't think I want to add even more, maybe a bit of vibrance to it, just a little bit like this, because it's very colorful. So on this one, just to finish it off, I'm going to try to make a light ray like we did on the other one. So you take a lot of light like this. I'm going to make it small, and I'm going to make it go behind the Lady in the Wind also. I'm going to make it big. I'm going to add a bit of exposure. I'm going to add minus clarity, as we did before. And I'm going to add a bit of yellow, I think, on this one. Yeah. I'm going to overdo it first, and I don't want it to go over the Lady in the Wind, so I'm going to go, like we did before, subtract. Select object. Let's select the Lady in the Wind, like that. And boom! The light ray is behind her. Yeah, it's a little strong. It's a little strong, but I kind of like what it does. So I'm going to just go lower on the exposure. I'm going to lower on the yellow. But look at that. It gives it just a nice yellow to that rock, which makes the Lady in the Wind comes even more to life. Now, check this out. I want to show this to you. If I copy this, Command-Shift-C, all my settings, and I go to the normal exposure. Let's say I didn't shoot HDR. I only had one exposure, and I do Command-V. Let's see how it comes out. It's pretty cool, but look at this. The skies. Let me show you next to each other. So this is the HDR on the right side, and this is the normal exposure. And you see, I lost all the detail there. I got a lot of a black line here. You know, the HDR actually looks way better, you know.
Well, I think I'm going to subscribe to your channel, Frenchie, because honestly, this is mind-blowing. I'm not going to lie to you. It's mind-blowing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Now, I want to show you an interview of somebody who sold a bank for $2 billion and went into a heavy depression, and photography saved his life. Starting right now, it's going to inspire you, and I would love to work with you. I want to see you work. Book a call with us.
Well, truth be told, I actually would love you to see my work and see if you can improve my stuff.